Hello and welcome back to Supposedly Fun. My name is Greg, here to do a weekly reading check-in. I had been planning to do this as a Friday reads, but it was a really busy work week, so I'm posting it on a Saturday. So it's just a weekly check-in. It's just a gray, cold, rainy day where I live. It's been this way for about 2 days. Hope the weather is nicer where you are. The first thing I want to do is actually do some channel recommendations. I have 2 of them for you. That's right, 2 channel recommendations. The first one is Road Reads. I believe her name is Susan. I'm going to link her channel down below. This is a new channel. I really love it. It was recommended to me. I can't remember who recommended it to me first, either the Sampler Girl or Sarah at Hardcover Hearts, and I know Lindsay from Lindsay's Book Life, the channel I recommended last month, is also a fan. One of them, they've all mentioned it. One of them did it first, and I don't remember which. But I think this is a delightful channel. I think Susan is very engaging and friendly. If you're looking for especially like a cozy reading channel to follow along with, I definitely recommend it. So check out Road Reads. I'm going to link it down below. And the other channel is KD Books. This is Kieran. I've talked to him a little bit on Instagram. He has had a channel, has kind of been getting back into it. He's going to be reading every book that has won the Booker Prize. And as you know, that's what I want to do for the Pulitzer Prize. So, in fact, he says he was inspired by my Pulitzer Prize project, which I think is, hey, that's fun. But I think that's a fun project. He just read the Testaments. I'm going to link his channel down below. So check that one out as well. That's 2 channels you should check out. And I hope you do, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you subscribe to them as well. Getting into the reading portion, it's been a good reading week, actually, despite how busy everything was. Because it was busy, I've only really made progress on a couple of buddy reads and audiobooks. I finished 2 books. 2 books. 2 seems to be the number of the day if I were, the count from Sesame Street. That's the way it would be going. So I finished 2 books. The first one is See People, The Puzzle of Polynesia by Christina Thompson. And I can't tell you about it because it's for the BookTube Prize. I don't have a copy I can hold up because I listened to it on audio, on Scribd. But I can't talk about it, but I am going to say that if you were going to read this book, I definitely recommend the audiobook, because the person who reads the audiobook, whose name I don't have in front of me, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so the narrator is Susan Lyons. She has a fantastic voice. It's really great. I'm not going to tell you what I thought of the book, but if you are interested in it, I'm going to recommend you go to the audio, because not without talking about the content of the book, the person who narrates is the real deal. She's got a great voice. So I finished that book. I also finished Treuer by Tolentino, Reflections on Self-Delusion. And again, I can't talk to you about it because this is another one for the BookTube Prize. I'm just a big old tease this week. So I finished 2 books. That feels really good. I was listening to both of them on audio, even though I have a copy of the physical book of Treuer. And I'm looking forward to talking about both of them when this round of the BookTube Prize is over at the end of this month and the next round is announced. I'm currently, once I finished both of these, I started listening to The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee on audio as well. I'm 2.5 hours into it. I think it's about 15 hours in total, so I still have a ways to go. Again, can't talk about it because it's part of the BookTube Prize, but I'm making really good headway on the BookTube Prize round. I have A Woman of No Importance and She Said left, and I have them kind of lined up to do next. So that fills up the BookTube Prize portion of reading. Some of the books that I'm going to talk about here are the same ones I've been talking about for a while. Yeah, I'm still reading Lonesome Dove. I actually have not been able to pick it up in over a week because I've been focusing on some other buddy reads. I had to do the audios for the BookTube Prize. Work has been really busy, so this has kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. But I am looking forward to finally finishing it and talking about it as the first book that I will have read specifically for my Pulitzer Prize project. I've read a lot of other Pulitzer Prize winners, but this is the first one I've read specifically for the project and as part of my Read Outside Your Comfort Zone challenge, since it is a Western. And I'm really looking forward to finishing this and talking to you. I also got the first disc of the miniseries from Netflix, so I'm looking forward to trying that as well and talking to you about it. I'm in the home stretch. I just got to get over that hump and have the time to dedicate to it. I'm continuing my slow buddy read of My Father and Myself by J.R. Ackerly with Sean the Book Maniac. We are reading 2 chapters a week, and I'm really loving this book. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. Because we're only doing two chapters a week, it's going to be a slow read, but that is exactly the purpose behind reading it this way for both of us. It's nice to have something that there's no pressure, you're not trying to rush through, and that is actually lovely. And it's nice to have check-ins fairly, have a little burst of reading and then check in, and that has been nice as well. I'm looking forward to it. We're not very far into it yet. We're 75 pages. But there's already been a lot to say, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting through and finishing this book whenever we get to it. It's nice having sort of like a slow project. I've really been enjoying that. On the other end of the spectrum, Cloudstreet. I've been reading this with Sarah from Hardcover Hearts. I'm not going to talk too much about what I'm thinking of it. We are in the home stretch on this one. We've been reading about 100 pages a week. We're in the last section now. There are a little over 100 pages left. And we're racing to the finish line on this. Spoiler alert. I'm not liking it. There are a lot of things I do like about it, so it's going to be interesting to see. The reason I was reluctant to talk about it in the first place, and then I did right away, was that a lot is going to depend on how things end in the book. I think that's going to determine where I finally come out on this. And we'll see. The parts of it I really like. The parts of it I don't like, obviously. But you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, TBD. We shall see how this turns out in the end. And then so that's the stuff that I'm reading now. These 3 physical books and The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee on audio. This one I am definitely going to be finished with soon. My Father, Myself is much more of a long-term project. As I mentioned, it's going to be a while before I finish that. So I'm hoping, the idea is that once I finish Cloudstreet, I'm going to try to knock out Lonesome Dove and get to that. And then I have ideas for how I'm going to shape the Pulitzer Prize video. And I actually looked this morning because I was wondering what the finalists for the Pulitzer were the year that Lonesome Dove won, and I happen to have one of them on my shelf. So I don't know. I don't want to hold off on doing my video about this as a Pulitzer Prize winner, but part of me thinks it would also be fun to read that other book, which is The Accidental Tourist by Ann Tyler. I should just mention the name of the book. It's not a secret. You could just look up what the finalists are. And then there's another book, I think it's Cloud Splitter by Russell Banks, which is immediately available on audio on Scribd. So I'm considering holding off a little bit on my Pulitzer Prize project video for this until I have listened to both of those, but I need to finish my Book 2 Prize books first. So I don't know. I may just do the video on this and kind of revisit. But I think part of me thinks it would be interesting, and the nerd in me wants to be a completist. And that way I can kind of give a full opinion on the spectrum of the books that were finalists and the book that were nominated. And then I can also look at other books that were published that year. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you want the whole picture? Or just, do you want the review of this already? I've been reading it forever. Like literally since March, I've been reading this book. So if you have thoughts about that, drop it down below. Let me know what you think. And then interestingly, I was just cleaning off my nightstand where I had my library books, because I can't return my library books. They asked us to hold on to them until libraries reopen, given everything that's going on, and realized I have had a copy of Actress by Anne Enright forever. I forgot I had this. The other 2 books that I had were holdovers from the previous round of the Book 2 Prize. And yeah, this was sitting among them. I had completely forgotten that I had it. So I'm also debating if I want to read this in the last half of the month and then get it back to the library. I don't know when my library is going to reopen. But so I was really excited about this book. It was part of the long list for the Women's Prize. Did not make the short list. But I was really excited when I heard the premise of it. What has happened since is a couple of people, including I think Eric Carl Anderson, read it, and they were just kind of meh about it. and that cooled my enthusiasm on it a bit. So if I have time this month, I'm probably going to read it. It's literally sitting. I need to stop saying literally, but it's been sitting on my night table, and I don't know when my library is going to reopen. So I would like to get to it. We'll see. And then, on that topic, so I don't know how things are where you live, but where I am. So I think right now there are somewhere between 20 and 30 active COVID-19 cases in the state of Montana. So they've started reopening stores, and I see a lot of people walking around without masks. There's not really much social distancing going on anymore, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, especially since, we're not lately, but we're theoretically heading into warmer weather for the summer. They're reopening Yellowstone National Park, which is just 2 hours away from where I live, or 2.5, maybe 3 hours away from where I live. I'm not good at geography. So there are theoretically going to be people coming into Montana. I understand people need to work, stores need to reopen, and I understand all of that. I just worry that we're gonna see a spike again in about 2 weeks or so. It makes me nervous. And that's all I'll say about that. And that pretty much sums up my weekend reading. I hope you enjoy those channels that I recommended, and give them a subscribe. And if you have thoughts about any of these, let me know. Like I said, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Once I finish Cloudstreet, I'm going to try to finish Lonesome Dove, and then I'll have some more new books to talk to you about. I'm really glad I got Sea People and Trick Mirror done. The funny thing about the BookTube Prize is I have things I could talk about, but I can't talk about. So it's interesting, but I am enjoying participating in the BookTube Prize this year, especially. I did fiction the first round. Now I'm doing nonfiction, so I'm glad I'm getting the full spectrum of the BookTube Prize. Anyway, that's everything that's going on. I'd love to hear what's going on with you and what the weather is where you are. Are you dealing with rain and cold? I'm wearing shorts right now. You can't see it because it was sunny 2 days ago, and now it's just gotten really cold, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. The world's gone mad in 2020. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. As always, I really appreciate your time watching this video, and I will be back. Until next time, happy reading.